Now, here is the current state of our interior. My main reasons for swapping the interior is a lot of the leather is actually falling apart. It has worn terribly. There's tons of cracking all over the place, including the center console. And just to take a look at something like my door card here, as you can see, it's also falling apart right here as well. But let's go ahead and get right into this install. So the first thing we're gonna actually remove are these seats. There is 4 T50 screws on all 4 corners of the seat bracket. They're pretty easy to remove. And then there's a little clip for the wire at the bottom, and that gets your seat out. Now underneath the seat, you have 2 wires. Well, some of you guys might not have this wire. This plugs out from this white part here. Is pretty simple. They just plug out. It takes a lot of force. And then with this is actually a pretty cool mechanism. You have to pull this black piece out, right? And then you pull these 2 yellow pieces apart. This, you kind of want to wedge a screwdriver in here because a lot of times it will be stuck. But you just pull that out and then the yellow part can come out as well. Once that's done with the wiring, you need to remove your actual seat belt. So for the seat belt, you have this little trim piece that covers right here. You want to go ahead and pry this off using the plastic trim removals. And then you have a T50 right there. Once that's done, this whole seat can come out. And guys, before you touch electronics, always remember to disconnect your battery, especially with the seat since there are airbags inside of it. Now we're gonna start removing some of these trim pieces. This tool literally just slides to the side and then you can pull it right out. Half of the clips are broken anyway, but yeah, that slides right out. Then we're gonna tackle this. Now the first part is this actual Phillips head screw on the trunk release. You wanna go ahead and take that out. With the trunk release removed, as you can see, there's a second screw Phillips head right underneath that also needs to be removed. With both screws removed, it's kind of clipped in under the carpet right here, but this wiggles out, and I'll be careful because the wires are still attached. You have a wire back here. Just simply plug that out for the little light for the trunk release. Next, we're gonna remove these back seats to get access to this trim right here at the bottom, and plus the back seats do need to be removed anyway. These are simply actually clipped into place. You wanna be very careful not to break the clips right here, but all you wanna do is actually just simply lift up. There we go, and you can see it starts coming out. Now that I've lifted up on both sides, I wanna go ahead and push these seat buckles through, and there we go. Definitely wanna vacuum up underneath there as well, but there goes the rear seats removed. Now, when it comes to these side trims, these are also clipped into place as well, but there's a little push pin right here. You can actually either use a trim removal tool, or you can actually take your fingernails and slide that out. There we go. And then this clips out. Be careful not to break these clips. Very gentle. Sometimes it also works to heat up the plastic a little bit with like a heat gun, because that's what actually causes these clips to break. They're very brittle, and warming it up makes them a little bit more maneuverable. There we go. Lastly, for the B-pillar column, at the bottom here, pull this out. There we go. And then it kind of wiggle out a little bit, slides down from out of there, so these can stay clipped in. Unless you're replacing these panels too. And these are actually pretty easy to replace, by the way. Now coming on back to the center console, as you can see, mine is completely messed up, so mine is not the same as yours. There's typically a trim you need to remove off of right here, but we do need to remove all these different wires. It's a couple of them. This one, these all just clip right out. This pushes right out. Got the one on the side right here. The one connected to the vent itself. And let's go ahead and remove those. All these wires remove again. They all pretty much clip out except for this one. It has a little push pin right here to push that down, and then it slides right out. Typically, if your trim is not broken, what you do need to remove, I believe, these two. You can see the actual broken plastic right here. These, I believe, are 10 mils, if not 8 mils. First thing we're gonna remove in the center console is this shift knob. Strong grip, put it in neutral does help sometimes. And you wanna lift this straight up. I don't think I can do it one hand, but we're gonna pull this straight up. Once that's done, this trim right here lifts straight up. I think you believe you have 2 wires underneath here. Sadly, I've pulled this trim up too many times. You have the blue one on the left side right there, and then the red one on the right. Those just pull right out. With those 2 wires removed, this just simply wiggles right out. Next, you need to remove these dust caps. On the inside here, we have 2 10mm screws we need to remove. Now the parking brake, this is a pretty simple one. Clips right out, push the button, slides out. Pretty simple to remove that. Now with that, this can slide out. You may need to move the parking brake a little bit as you slowly come out, just so you can choose the angle you want to help this thing come out easily. Now there is one more wire we do need to remove, so be careful on pulling it out. Now this bracket right here just came off as I was removing the center console, but this is the wire I was talking about. Typically this bracket will be connected to your center console, and then this little piece right here simply slides right out. With everything removed and the carpet cleaned, we can begin actually spraying this black. Now I went ahead and masked everything off, most of these wires, tuck these wires in the center right here so you don't get any of this paint on these important wires. We're gonna apply light coats, again, duple, vinyl, and fabric spray. You can typically throw a coat on about every 30 minutes, let it dry. Light coats, and I have about 2 cans. Hopefully that should be enough for this whole entire carpet. All right, so a couple of coats have been applied. We still definitely need some more. I'm gonna go ahead and recommend 2 bottles is nowhere close to enough. I would say you at least need 4, maybe 5 or 6, definitely. Now with the back seats, you have 4 T50 bolts you need to remove first. These 2 holding in the seat belts on either side, and then you have these right here in the center. A little hidden, but you can kind of see it. At the back of your trunk at the very top, there are these 2 holes right here, one on this side and then one on the other side, and you want to actually take a screwdriver and hear that? It's a little pop you're gonna hear, and that actually allows the seat to come out. With all of that done, the seat should come right out. It is a 2-minute job, but as you can see, comes out with no issue. With the back seats out, I did want to show you this. I went ahead and sprayed down all the seat belts. It actually came out pretty good. Might need another coat or 2. It is a little bit stiffer. The texture's not too bad though, since the texture wasn't that good in the first place. And it doesn't rub off on clothing or anything. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this latching mechanism because nobody shows this part in a lot of their videos. But when you wanna actually get those rear seats out, and I tell you to stick it in that hole, you wanna actually turn it towards the edge of the car. And as you can see here, when I turn it, it's a little hard to do one-handedly, but it pulls this mechanism back and that actually unhooks the seat. That's how you do it. I really feel like I should turn this into another video, but that's how you remove those rear seats. Now let's go ahead and throw these rear seats in so we can start getting some of these trim pieces. We got the rear seats back in, looking really, really good. Now we're gonna go ahead and install these side trims before we put on this bottom part here. So these are actually pretty simple. We do wanna go ahead and transfer these clips out first. Got a little trim removal tool. Sometimes they stay with the trim. A lot of times they don't. They just come out just like that. We're gonna go ahead and pull those out and transfer it to the bottom, line those up, and then this should snap in place. All right, with these 2 side parts in, I went ahead and installed the bottom part of the back seats. Make sure you floss these in too, want to be sure of that. But yeah, this looks really good with the buckles in. Now time to work on some more panels. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and remove these door cards. Pretty simple. You want to go ahead and take off this trim. You can peel it from the corner. There we go. And then now, if you look on the inside here, let me adjust. There are T20 screws going all across on the inside here that we need to remove. And then if you're looking at the passenger door, which I already did right there, there is actually a T20 in that handle, but I'll show you guys how to remove that one because the back doors are pretty similar. But once those T20s are removed, then we can start prying off the door with the trim removal tool or your hand if you have extra clips like once you have those 3 T20 screws out, looking on the back here, we have a bunch of cords we need to remove. To be really careful. We have the one for the mid-range driver, actually 2 plugging into there because the tweeter also plugs in as well. Come on, dang, it's in there hard. And then the door actuators, these are actually pretty easy. Just pull these out. And putting these back in, it's also a little bit of a process. You want to have the door closed and then snap this in. The door handle closed, I mean, not the actual door. And then lastly, one people always forget about, actually we have one down here as well, I forgot. There we go. But the one for the floodlight at the bottom. And also, when it comes to installing these floodlights, when you put your new door cards in, you want to actually take this floodlight out, floss your wire in through here, and then plug it back in. But yeah, with that done, the whole door can pretty much be removed. Okay, now for these rear doors, again, we're gonna remove the trim first. Gotta be a little careful here, don't want this falling. There we go. And then we're gonna have T20s again on the inside right here. This camera can focus, there we go. And then, as I told you guys, there is one in the door handle. See this little pull tab right here? We're gonna go ahead and pull on it. There we go. And it shows off another T20 on the inside as well. Once you take both of those T20s out, start at the bottom with your trim removal tool. All right, once both of those are removed, we're gonna head down to the bottom right here. With our trim removal tool, we can get in a spot. There we go. And pull. You're gonna hear those pop. It takes a lot of force, just like the front doors do. And once you feel about 2 or 3 pops, you can make your way. Sorry, this is really hard to do with one hand, but make your way around the bottom and you can pull the door card out. With the door card out, it's pretty much the same situation as the front doors, except we have no speakers here for the E90, but you just have the one for the door lock, slides right in, and then you have the one for the actual window switch. And that's pretty much it. Door card removed, and now we can go ahead and install these. Even though you can barely even see this, I went ahead and got the replacement panel for this in black. I believe these are also T20s. I am missing one, but it's typically 3 T20s going across. And then you can bring this whole thing down, and be careful because there are wires. Now, once you bring it down, you see you have a couple wires. I noticed there are none of that stuff for this one. I always wonder what these weird stains are. Both of these have this, so it's not just like from my car. They have these weird brown stains on them. But anyway, yeah, we just got to transfer a lot of this stuff over because this doesn't come with it. I don't know what option that is. Maybe to do something with the SOS, probably. I'm not sure, but we're gonna go ahead and transfer all these different modules over. A lot of these just come right out. Be very careful with the wiring, but these just come right out. That's all buttoned back up. Now we're gonna go ahead and begin installing some of this side trim. It's pretty much self-explanatory. We just plug it all back in like we plugged it out. Starting off with this, and then you want to do the middle ones right here, and then you want to do these mid sections last. All right, the side panels are in. Now we're gonna tackle this center console. It pretty much slides over. Don't forget to wire up this bottom little plug right here that goes in right underneath, and then we can do these last once we slide it over. All right, center console is on. A few things. You want to make sure you get these inside vents right here lined up. They actually snake in right here so the air can travel through to your rear passengers. Also, I got these 2 wires. You want these through. And lastly, make sure all your wires here are sticking out properly, and then we can snake these through and put on our rear vents. Put our trim on and trim over here, and then we can tackle the seats. Okay, now underneath the front seat, you want to make sure you have this part connected. Go ahead and push this in. Make sure this black part is sticking all the way out, and these should slide in together. Now it's locked in place. Airbag wire simply connects in right into here. All right, here is the finished product. I have to say, this might be one of my most favorite mods I have done to the car. It looks amazing. Everything came out really, really nicely. It looks really, really good. But let me know what you guys think. Not bad. It did take me a little bit of a while. I would say in total, roughly like 10 hours to do. I also did a bath speaker sound in the middle of this. So because since you're taking out all the interior, if you do want to do a speaker install, it makes sense to do them at the same time. You save a lot of work. Now just know guys, this is only part 1. It's probably going to be a 3-part series. If you guys take a look at my headliner, it looks like a 90s minivan. So we're going to be redoing the headliner in Alcantara suede. Definitely going to fix that up and change all this out to black, and also the pillars as well. And then we still need to do the front dash. And let me know what you guys do want to see. Either I can swap this dash from another car to like a black dash, or I can dye it and make it almost like it has an extended leather package, which look really, really nice if I do all this in red. So it's gonna be red or black. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, we definitely need to change these pillars and the headliner, and we also need to do the front dash, which will be 2 separate videos. But I think this looks really, really nice. And if you are curious on anything else in my car, like this front area right here with the Apple CarPlay, I have a video on that. If you want to see how to install the steering wheel, I have a video on that. Gauge clusters video, or this carbon fiber interior. But yeah, this car has came a long way from what it used to look like. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I definitely love doing stuff with the interior, because as you guys know, so much has been done to the exterior of this car, but not a lot has been done to the interior. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you really care, hit that subscribe button. Peace, guys.